Bebziti has been constantly re-uploading like the same video. I think it's his third, fourth time re-uploading the same video. I need to react to it. I wish I react to the original version. I really do. I wish I reacted to the original version, but I'm gonna react to the one that just came out, well, 5 days ago, I guess, because I've been wanting to check it out. I really have. What is so bad about the West that he's talking about that it keeps getting flagged? That it keeps getting flagged. That's what I'm curious about. But this is West gets empathy, India gets racism.
Why is empathy reserved for West while ridicule is reserved for India? When India suffers, it's called failure. When the West suffers, it's called a tragedy. More than 1,000 people have reported in France and more around Europe as an intense heat wave grips the continent. I am in Poland right now, in a mountain region, but the temperature has crossed 35 degrees. Trust me, it feels brutal. Schools are shutting, outdoor activities are being restricted, roads are melting, railway tracks are melting, power systems are failing with increased cooling demand.
Well, I think that's actually insane. The fact that, like, I don't know what the exact target is here, but the fact we live in such a modern civilization. We live in such a modern civilization that I have an AC right here, right in the window pointed directly at me. I have one in the office. I have one in the bedroom. I also have central AC, which I don't trust as much because I don't have direct control of keeping the temperature of each individual room. So I can't keep it cool. We have such a beneficial situation, like we're so blessed to be able to just cool down whenever we want, that places like Europe that for some reason don't utilize AC. Like, what was it that like this year, like I think there was more deaths per capita in Europe to heat exhaustion than there is gun violence in the United States of America. If that's actually correct. That's insane. That's absolute neglect. Honestly, that's to the part where there is people just not wanting to get an AC. The fact that it's not encouraged. Is it shamed? Is that a shame culture for some reason? Oh, you can't stand the heat? Like, come on. Just put it in the window. Turn it on when you need it. But I think that's insane. The fact that there's less gun violence than there is heat exhaustion death per capita. Compared to the US to the UK. I mean, it's insane. It's insane.
Many homes and offices don't even have air conditioning or a fan like we have in India. Now think about this. In India, 35 degrees is considered pleasant in many places.
Or maybe India is just used to it. But the main thing is that when it happens in the West, it's a global issue. It's something worth considering. It is a natural phenomenon and the weather is brutal. But when it comes to it...
Well, okay, I'm going to disagree with Pepsi here. I don't think it matters. I think the big issue is these people just don't flip the bill for an AC. Why whine and complain when you have full control over it? I think that's the real issue. Why are they whining and complaining? Like, I remember watching 3 Idiots, and there's that one scene where the father's talking about what he had to sacrifice in order to get an AC in his son's bedroom so his son can study for engineering. For me, guess what? I watched that scene and was so confused. It was like, why is he sacrificing all this for something that's just common sense? But I lived in the West. Like, again, I have an AC here. I have an AC in the other room. I have another window AC, like not even unboxed yet, just sitting out in the living room. That's how much I like to keep places cool. That's just who I am. That's just who I am. But again, that was so flabbergasting to me to see that scene and be like, why? Why is that such a big deal? You would think that would be like commonplace. People want to be comfortable. People want to be comfortable, but not everyone's the same. Some people just see the energy consumption as a complete waste. I don't know. I think my comfort is most important. I think it is. I'm willing to pay extra for comfort. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. I mean, even if you just have one room, just utilize it in one room. Utilize it in the main room, and then keep a door open so that way it can air into that one. But again, different cultures have different ways of going about it. But yeah, the fact that people can die to heat exhaustion is insane. The fact that 35 is considered comfortable, no, it's not. No, it's not. It's not considered comfortable. It's just people have gotten used to it. And what's the point of complaining when nothing's going to be done? Like, I remember growing up, and my parents didn't want to turn on the AC because it is expensive. It is absolutely expensive. But at the same time, I just wanted to be comfortable. I just wanted to be comfortable.
India, the context shifts from climate to infrastructure and people and civic sense and all these random things. I'm not saying that these things don't play a role. When anything happens in India, the whole blame is shifted on the people, the government, and all that. Even Indians themselves do that. It just shows how biased and prejudiced the mainstream media is.
Indian summers regularly cross 40 degrees and in several regions even touch 50 degrees Celsius.
Like I get a 40. Luckily, this summer hasn't been that hot. Surprisingly, I think it peaked 40 degrees Celsius last weekend. But I was recovering from surgery, so I was in bed inside enjoying the AC. And it was like what? I think I had the temperature at like 20 or 22 degrees Celsius. I'm trying to do the math in my head from Fahrenheit to Celsius. And I'm like, I think it's still too hot. In the room. It was 22 degrees Celsius. And I'm like, it's still too hot. Can we turn it down? Of course, then again, I'm recovering from surgery, so maybe my body's running at a higher temperature because it's, when your body's fighting something or trying to heal, it uses more, so your body heats up more as it's burning and things like that. So I think that might have been the reason as to why I was burning, because I had my foot covered in layers, but I was keeping like nothing on my, like, I'm sweating here. It's 22 degrees. Yeah, but again, it's I've always preferred to be comfortable, and I don't understand why people see it as such a big deal, these massive heat waves that are coming around, when people now have full control, full autonomy. Like, we used to have a mall in the town nearby where I live, but it's been changed into like a shopping center, and people from lower income families would travel to the mall, spend the peak of the heat wave in the mall, just going from the store to store to store, window shopping. They had the cafeteria in the mall, where you would see those families just there a lot, all day long with their kids, just walking, hopping, and just being in the AC, being in a cool area. Because it's what they had to do, because they were from lower income families. They couldn't afford an AC. But there are those outlets. But then again, you have places like in Europe where even businesses don't have AC. It's very commonplace in the United States of America for businesses to have an AC. I walk into a store, like took my wife to Target for the first time, and we were pissed off. Target is supposed to be the higher end Walmart. We went to Walmart. We always have an AC when we walk in there. We went to Target. The AC was broken. We are never going back to Target. We are never going back to Target. But that's just how we are.
Whenever India faces a challenge, foreign media is quick to call India backwards. But
Europeans panic when it hits 35, but here in South India, 40 degrees, it's just a regular Tuesday. Yeah. Luckily, we've been having cold summers here the past 2 years, but I was getting like 44, 45 the 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. This year and last year was pretty cool, but 2 years ago, when I was working up in the mountain, like luckily it's cooler up in the mountain, but it was getting like 44, 45 on a daily.
today, where are those headlines? Remember when photos of an Indian sleeping on Versova Beach or in parks during power cuts were circulated around the world?
Because that is what people are used to. That is what they want to see. That is what they have in their mind. Anything bad happens in this world, it could easily be associated with India. I mean, at this point, it feels like it's just forced, like a planned propaganda. Now, before the self-hating Indians say, "Oh, does that mean India does not have problems? Are you blind? You unbucked?" I know India has a lot to fix, but where's the empathy? I mean, what should be your primary approach when you see anything wrong? Maybe try to understand why it's happening instead of being, oh, because they're all like this. It's like you hate them and you're just finding reasons to justify that hatred.
They became memes, they became jokes. India was mocked. Today, across parts of Europe, people are spending nights sleeping on beaches and grass in parks because that's the cheapest air conditioning option they have. This time, world doesn't mock them.
It doesn't mock them because apparently they sweat gold and silver and diamond. It doesn't mock them because it's not something to be mocked for. Where is humanity?
It empathizes. Empathy is exactly what every human deserves. You can see reports of European Commission staff complaining that air conditioning remained on in few offices only for senior officials, while junior staff worked without.
That's basically like New York. Like, what was it? The mayor of New York was telling everyone to turn off their ACs or keep it at a very nice 78 degrees Fahrenheit. 78 degrees, I think that's close to like 30 degrees Celsius. My math isn't probably mathing there, but yeah, it's like close to 30 something. Maybe. I'm not going to pretend to truly understand. That's what I'm saying, maybe. And he was keeping his personal building at like a 68 degrees Fahrenheit, which was like what would it be? 20. At 20 degrees Celsius. That's what he would keep his personal building, as he was telling everyone else in New York City to keep their temperatures at a higher because they can't afford the energy cost. Because New York is losing money. Because all the rich people left, now they can no longer tax them. It's always the people at the top that want everyone else to capitulate. Again, this is why socialism will never work, because it's a human construct. Humans will always be the problem in every sort of judicial or governmental or whatever kind of system we have. Humans are the issue. Humans are always the issue.
In scorching heat, is there a class system in Europe? Many have called it modern form of class privilege.
Well, because corruption exists everywhere. It's not India specific. If you believe otherwise, you're just delusional.
If inequality exists elsewhere, it's called an unfortunate circumstance. When challenges happen in India, they use it as a proof that the country has failed.
Okay, let's say by your standards and your parameters, it has failed. Who the hell derives pleasure from seeing someone fail and in a miserable situation? Like, ha 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 ha, you're a failed country. What?
Climate extreme.
I'm not gonna lie. I do get kind of pleasure in that. But it's seeing retards. Okay. I don't know how to say it, which is not very insulting. So everyone looks at the UK now, and it's something that can easily be pointed at, laughed at, and made an example of, because they opened the borders and have allowed the barbarians through the gates, and they welcomed in the Trojan horse. They fed the Trojan horse. They allowed the Trojan horse to multiply and take in more, and it's just encouraged, and the Trojan horse is protected because it's now their sacred cow. They must protect their sacred cow. So it's literally destroying itself from the inside out. And here I am on the outside looking at it, and it's like, this is a prime example as to why you can't coexist with barbarians. If you're traveling somewhere, you adopt the culture of the place you're traveling to, or you just keep it in your own house. You don't publicize it to the rest of the nation, because your mindset doesn't belong there. I'm not going to take my ideals and go to the middle of Afghanistan and start telling people they should follow how I perceive the world. That's just insane. That's stupidity. Why would you do something like that? It's about adopting, and here we've got a prime example, and I being out the outside, it's like, well, at least but the sad thing is, there are so many people suffering because of what the government has allowed to happen in the nation. And again, like I just said, it's the humans that are the issue of every problem. It's the humans in power, because we, as a species, are flawed. That's why we will never have a socialistic society where people can be in control of, because guess what? We will never, ever want to not be better than the next person. It's inherent in us human beings to want to be better than somebody else. That's also what gives some of us the ability to strive for success, because we want to prove somebody else wrong. We want to prove that they're beneath us. And that's not a bad thing when it's competitive and it makes you want to push yourself. The problem is when it gets to the point where you don't acknowledge that human beings are the problem. Because in every single society, even in the United States of America, what's the problem with the judicial structure in the United States of America? Humans. Humans refusing to give up their own power. Humans refusing to acknowledge their own mistakes. Humans refusing to admit that they're just as frail as the poor person living on the corner of the street. Nobody wants to admit that stuff. Everyone wants to feel superior. Everyone wants to feel better than the next person. It's all a power trip. It's all a power trip. Yo, Jay.
are being a global reality. No country is immune. Yet somehow only India is expected to be perfect. India still has problems. No serious person denies that. We still have infrastructure gaps. We still have poverty. We still have a long way to go. But let's also acknowledge reality. Managing a nation of 1.4 billion people is not the same as managing countries with populations a fraction of that size. Imagine running a family of 2. Now imagine running a family of 200. The scale changes everything.
As long as there are 2 humans in the room, there is 100% possibility that they will fight. It's in our nature. You know what? Truer words have never been spoken. Truer words have never been typed. Have never been typed. You're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely right about that. There's a reason why people during the Roman Empire or like the Alexander's conquest, that the people who weren't even involved in the conquest praised the victories of those empires. There's a reason why, because they felt like they were doing something. The people felt like they were growing. The people felt like they were powerful because they were constantly taking things over. That's how it works. We as a species like to win. We like to win. Look at what's going on with the World Cup right now. So many people are butthurt just because their team, that they're threatening people. What was it? A few years ago, a player who accidentally, he accidentally made a goal, ended up being killed when he arrived back home. There's so many things like that happen because, well, it's inherent. We want to compete. I mean, I'm glad we've gotten away from warmongering. Not completely. We are a warmongering species. We've gotten somewhat away from warmongering and coliseums, which not completely, and gotten more into like esports or just sports in general. We got boxing, we got the World Cup, we've got like baseball, which of course America always wins because it's America's only sport. We've got like basketball, America always wins because it's America's only sport. American football, America always wins because it's America's only sport. You know, that kind of stuff. But because when America enters the actual real football, we don't win. We don't win, which pisses off a lot of Americans because a lot of Americans want to be the victors.
That India has built one of the world's largest metro networks, expanded highways, airports, digital payments, affordable cooling, and public infrastructure at an unprecedented pace.
And why and how and when was this normalized?
Over the last decade. Why are we always taught to celebrate the strengths of other nations but only focus on the weaknesses of our own? Be objective, criticize India where criticism is deserved, but celebrate India's achievements with the same confidence. Because if we don't respect our own country, no one else will. India doesn't need blind nationalism. It needs informed, confident citizens who refuse to believe.
See, I love that. I am a firm believer that nationalists are just as bad as the liberals that hate their own nation. They are just as bad. You need to be a patriot for your nation. You have to acknowledge the problems and fight for improving the problems, but also praise the things that your nation has done successfully. I will always praise the fact that we are going towards all these illegal immigrants and tossing them out of this nation they do not belong in, that they have disrespected. I will always be on the side of that. Always be on the side of that. Have there been issues? Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, they should have just released the files and that's it. That's it. They should have just released the files. If your names are in it, too bad. There shouldn't be anyone going through it. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. Because that's the thing. It's like I always hear like sometimes in the comments, people are like, yeah, nationalism is great. Like, no, you have to look into what nationalism is. You believe that you're the best no matter what. Like, no. You're not. No nation's great. No nation's perfect. We're all flawed. Why? Because of us human beings. Be a patriot. Look at the positives, acknowledge the negatives, and try to do your best to call out the negatives, talk up the positives, and try to do what you can for your nation. What you can for your nation. That's all you can do. That's all you can do.
That India is destined to remain behind. The world respects nations whose people stand by them.
Well, because they had to. They had no option. I personally feel these things are not something to be celebrated too much because every country eventually does that. But I get it, this person is trying to paint a more neutral perspective about India. But why is there even a need to do that?
It's time Indians do the same. United. India can achieve what very few civilizations in history ever have. Divided, we only make someone else's narrative stronger.
Well, that's true. If you hate your own country, your culture, and you keep finding reasons to justify it, then does it really fix anything? Are you actually doing anything to change the status quo?
I thought it was over! Please, God, no. Please, God. No, again, please, I'm begging you, please. I thought it was over. Please come, not again. I can't breathe. Is this real?
Yes, summers can be brutal. And YouTube, this is just a fun video. People laugh at these videos. It's made primarily for entertainment purposes. I think I need to keep mentioning this after every minute in my videos.
Yeah, because that one's just like, it's a little overblown. Is that just a skit? Holy crap. Crying video is AI. Okay. It was so overblown, but I was like, what the heck?
This is horrible, this is sad, and this is the West.
AC units.
I have a million things to say about this video. So many different opinions. Should I share them?
This is fake, and this video is from Germany where the fire broke out, and it is from 2016. Okay.
What happened to infrastructure? What happened to civic sense? Oh, nobody cares because it's not in the agenda of mainstream media. As you all can see, this video was not planned at all. This, as you can see, is just my reaction to the last video that was taken down for weird reasons. But anyway, keep sending your topics. And as I always say, propaganda doesn't change reality.
Propaganda does not change reality. No, it does not. No, it does not. Again, the heat wave nonsense is just insane. Why aren't like ACs commonplace, especially this day and age? I mean, at a certain point, businesses should at least have cooling systems for the public, especially like shopping centers and things like that. I understand like a mom and pop shop not being able to afford that kind of thing, but when the heat wave hits, don't expect any customers. Just close shop. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I always enjoy Pepsi tea. I wish I saw the original version. I wish I saw the original version. Definitely would have been enjoyable, because it sounded like the wind was taken out of his cells in this video. He was just like, okay, I don't know what I did wrong. I'm not happy with what's going on here. It's just like, come on, man, come on. And it was all just that one lady's videos primarily. And again, people do need to talk about it. People do need to be aware. People need to stop hating where they're from. I don't know why that's such a thing. It makes no sense to me, because again, there are a lot of people in America that hate Americans. Like, well, I'm not going to talk about that. I was like, oh, that popped into my head, but I'm like, no, that's probably best if I don't mention it. But I don't understand all this outright pointless hatred. I mean, to some extent, because I talk about it, I understand, because people do want to feel like they're superior to everyone else. That is primarily the issue. They want to feel like they're superior to everyone else. And you can acknowledge that earnestly. You can. But at the same time, at a young age, I understood what my issues were. And you always have to be aware of what your problems are. Like, I honestly believe that everyone in the world has some kind of mental deficiency, whatever it may be. Like, people have more preferences to being addicted to drugs. Some people have more preferences to being addicted to gambling. Some people have more preferences to being addicted. Some people have less empathy, more empathy, you know, that kind of stuff. Everyone has some kind of mental deficiency, whether to some extent. Everyone. And if nobody can claim to not have that. Nobody can. It's next to impossible, because there's a reason why we human beings don't get along so well, because we all have our own unique perspectives on everything and our own unique foibles. Is that the word? foibles. We all have our own problems. And because of that, we don't acknowledge other people's, because in the end, we don't acknowledge or we call out others because we don't acknowledge our own. At a young age, I found out what my problems were. At a young age, I found out what my vices were. At a young age, I realized what I could and couldn't do. Bless my wife, because she's stronger than I am in that respect, because there are a lot of things where she needs to pick up the slack for me because I just don't have the capability. Like for me to do something against like my normal trend is literally like a job to me, which is sad. It's really sad, but it's like a job to me. I hopefully over time I'll get comfortable. It'll be like just natural. Some things have become natural, but to go against and I understood what kind of person I was. I really did. But most people don't know who they are. And then they start having all these problems with everyone else. They have all these problems with everyone else because they want to feel superior instead of looking at the fact, why do I want to feel superior to them? Why am I complaining about them? I'm honest. I would have never cared about India if it wasn't for my wife. Why? I had no skin in the game. I had no neck in the race. I had no point to be interested. Just like Ukraine and Russia, don't care. Don't care. I have no reason to. Palestine, Israel, don't care. I have no reason to. There's nothing in that except for the fact that the United States shouldn't be involved in either of those. Shouldn't be. That's just how I see it. That's just how I see it. But that's the thing. The only reason I care about India is because my wife's from India. I've been there 5 times. I've never been to Israel, never been to Palestine, never been to Russia, never been to Ukraine, never been to Europe. So I don't care about what I don't have a personal stake in. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I know why I do what I do. I acknowledge it. I don't pretend to be overly informed. I like to be informed on some things, but in the end, I'm not there, so I shouldn't speak on everything. I've been to India, so I feel more comfortable talking about it. And I have family there, so I feel more comfortable talking about it. So everyone just needs to acknowledge their own problems, realize where they're coming at things, and why. Why do they, for one, seek approval from the rest of the world, which nobody should care about that. Nobody should. And why are they calling out other problems around the world when there are problems at your own home? Which, honestly, I do the same. Like I was talking about Europe on how it's fallen apart because it opened the door, it welcomed in the barbarians, and now the barbarians are taking over. But I can say the same thing here. There are places here that have been fully conquered. Fully conquered. Now we just need to reverse the damage. We just need to reverse the damage.
You guys got a video? So bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Wait, where's that?